Hey guys, and welcome to another blog spotlight. Now in front of me here I've got the Sludge Boiler. Now before we get to that, let's have a look at its crafting recipe. Now the Sludge Boiler is crafted using a factory machine block, some furnaces and plastic sheets. Now that's a fairly cheap crafting recipe. The factory machine block, of course, is made using some stone and plastic sheets, and you need these for every machine in MineFactory Reloaded, so make a couple of those. And of course the plastic sheets are made using some raw plastic, which can be obtained by smelting rubber bars or, well, rubber from any other mod. So let's have a look at sludge before we get to the actual sludge boiler. I've got a big tank of sludge set up here, and well, let's quickly switch to daylight. So as you can see, this is sort of a dark bluish liquid. And well, you might be wondering, how is sludge made? Well, it's made by a harvester. Now I've demonstrated this block in another spotlight, and basically what it does is it harvests some crops for you, and when it does that it will produce a little bit of sludge as a waste product. Now you can use liquid ducts or other types of liquid pipes to get this liquid out of the harvester into a tank or the sludge boiler itself. And well, I've got a little pool of sludge set up here, so let's go to creative mode and have a quick swim in here. Okay, let's get back out. So as you can see, we are getting a poison, a weakness and a nausea effect. So this sludge is quite nasty. It is generated randomly in the world in small pools, so look out for that so you don't fall in there. Okay, so now let's get to the actual sludge boiler. Now the sludge boiler here has got a liquid inventory, as most machines that process liquids in MineFactory Reloaded. And yeah, you can provide it of course with Minecraft joules, EUs or kgs. So basically any type of power you might want to use for this, which is the same case for other machines in this mod, of course. Now let's turn this on. So you might be wondering, well, what is the sludge boiler doing? Well, aside from its main operation, it is currently poisoning me. So I get a hunger and a poison effect. Now this happens when you get inside of a 3-block radius of the block when it's working. So keep that in mind. You want to stay clear of that when it's working. And let's head back into creative mode here. So I've got a chest set up here, and as you can see, the sludge boiler is slowly filling it up with several types of items. I've got some clay in here, some dirt, and of course some sand. Now basically what the sludge boiler does is it processes sludge into something you can use. In this case I've got some sand, some dirt and some clay. However, that's not the only things it makes. So the chances of getting each particular item varies, with sand being the most likely for you to get and next being dirt. Of course clay is also fairly easy to obtain. So those three are certainly fairly easy to get, which is the reason why I've got well, them in here mostly. And keep in mind, when it generates clay it will give you 4 pieces at a time. Okay, so the less frequent vanilla blocks you can get from this are mycelium and of course also soul sand. Okay, so mycelium and soul sand have a really low chance of being produced. As you can see, I've got some mycelium in here, and mycelium even has a slightly smaller chance than soul sand does. Now aside from being able to produce these vanilla blocks, the mod also supports some other mods. So there is support for example, Pam's Harvest Craft. Now this only adds 1 additional item, which is salt. However, I don't have this mod installed, so it won't be producing that. The same thing is true for forestry, only 1 item, so this will also produce the peat item from forestry, also with a very low chance, whereas salt in Pam's Harvest Craft has a fairly decent chance of being produced. So low chance for peat, but it does produce it. I do have forestry installed, so we might have that pop up at some point. Okay, so next up we also have extra biomes. So this mod adds 2 items which can be produced by the sludge boiler, which is quicksand and cracked sand. Now these have a, well, above low, like somewhat average chance of being produced, but about half that of clay. So not that big of a chance, but it's still more common than, for example, mycelium or peat. Okay, and then finally, as far as I'm aware, this is the only other mod which is supported, which is the Biomes of Plenty mod. Now, this does add several items, being mud, ash, dry dirt, hard sand, and hard dirt. Okay, so these also have a fairly decent to average chance of being produced, so more than, for example, mycelium, but less than clay. Okay, so that's basically it for the sludge boiler, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next spotlight.